Hello everyone, I am the third reporter. My name is Gloribel Pimarabong and this is my topic about steps in sampling process. Number one is identify and define target population. Target population is the population of interest where a researcher wants to conduct his or her research and apply research findings. For example, yung mga doctors, housewives, teachers, job holders, at iba pa. Kung gusto ng mga researcher na pag-aralan ang mga effects ng isang bagong paraan ng pagtuturo tapos may result ito ng pagkatuto ng mga mag-aaral sa elementary, ang target population dito ay yung mga students sa elementary. For example, doon sa paggamit ng technology sa pagtuturo, yun yung mga tablet, computer, etc. Researchers can design their study to collect data specifically from this group tapos gumawa sila ng mga conclusions that are relevant to them. Number 2 is select sampling frame. List of all elements, members, cases, or units in a population from which sample will be drawn. It includes units that can be sampled and that can be sampled. For examples, list of doctors, employees, etc. The process of selecting a sampling frame depends on the nature of the study and the population being investigated. For examples of the list of doctors, paggamit ng medical directories, pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga hospital, reaching out to professional organizations, pag-access sa mga government register, paggamit ng mga online platform at paghahanap ng mga referral mula sa loob ng medical community. Number 3 is specify sampling unit. Sampling unit is defined as the single element or set of elements considered for selection in sampling process. Sampling unit could be a family, city, customer, organization, student, etc. If you are conducting research on university students, a single student would be a sampling unit. For example, if your research aims to understand the academic performance of university students, each individual student would be a sampling unit. On the other hand, if you're investigating the impact of a specific intervention on a particular characteristics of students, for example, their attitudes towards a subject, the sampling unit might be the student who experienced the intervention. Number 4 is choose sampling methods. Sampling methods are divided into two groups, probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Choose an appropriate sampling technique so that sample truly represent the whole population. For example, the university student choosing the appropriate sampling method for research on university students depends on various factors and the population under study. Kung ang goal ay unawain ang overall academic performance ng mga university student, random sampling may be appropriate. What is random sampling? Ito na yung involves randomly selecting individuals from the population, giving each member an equal chance of being included in the sample. Number 5 is determine sample size. Several statistical formulas are used to determine sample size. Sample size should be appropriate, not too short, not too large. Small sample size creates generalizability problem. Larger sample size reduce sampling error. So para maging maayos or maganda ang result, pipili tayo ng tamang sample size dahil ito yung isang critical na bahagi ng ating plan for research. So para makamit natin ang maayos na result, ay dapat na pag-aralan ito ng maayos para maintindihan natin. For example, with a population size of 1,000, your margin of error would be 50% or 0.05. With a confidence level of 95% or 1.96 and the response distribution is 50% or 0.5, your sample size would need to be 384. So ito na yung computation ng ating sample size. Number 6 is choose sampling plan. Sampling plan is detailed outline that define how the sample will be taken at what times. And by whom, it includes instruction for interviewers. Ang pagpili ng tamang sampling plan ay mahalaga dahil kapag nagkamali ka ay pwede itong masira ang buong research study mo. So let's say you're conducting a study on student satisfaction at a university. So, pipili ng sampling plan based sa factors na nakita mo. For example, simple random sampling. If you want every student at a university to have an equal chance of being selected for your survey, and if the student body is relatively homogeneous. In terms of demographics and experiences, you might opt for simple random sampling. Number 7 is collect required data. In the last step of sampling process, sampling is performed. Execute sampling plan, collect required data from sample. Ensure that data is complete and in required format. For example, study of satisfaction ng mga students sa university. For simple random sampling, una kailangan mong magkaroon ng list ng lahat ng students sa university. After that, gumamit ng random number generator or hatiin ang listahan ng pantay-pantay para sa bawat student. Sa bawat student ay may chance na papili para sa survey. For satisfied sampling, kung alam mo na ang mga student ay nahati na sa iba't ibang group tulad ng undergraduate and graduate, so maghiwa-hiwalay na ang group. Pagkatapos, piliin ng random ang mga student mula sa bawat group, siguraduhin na may representation mula sa group para sa mas buong result. For systematic sampling, kung ang list ng mga student ay nakaayos, like alphabetical, pwede kang pumili ng systematical. For example, every 10 student ay pwedeng mapili mula sa listahan. For cluster sampling, kung ang university ay nahahati sa mga malalaking group like mga departments, piliin ng random ang ilan sa mga department at ang mga survey ay lahat ng students sa mga ito. In this way, hindi mo na kailangang mag-survey sa lahat ng students sa university. For convenience sampling, kung unlimited ang time, pwede kang pumili ng mga student na madaling ma-access tulad ng mga nasa canteen o di kaya sa library. Pagkatapos, pumili ng sampling plan, simulan ang process ng pagguha ng mga data sa mga napiling student ayon sa napiling plan. And that's all. Thank you.